It's Angli at Next here again. I'm going to show you a couple dungeon runs here with my Healadin. I'm going to run with a tank, and I'm going to run with a high DPS guard or great weapon fighter. So the tank is my buddy Bladaga. His character name is Liam Shatterstone. So you can say hi, Liam, if you want to. And we're just run through something quick and easy like EToS or something like that, just to show you guys mechanics of how this all works. And I'll show you powers and try and talk you through the dungeon as we go through it. There we go. Beautiful. So basically the powers I'm using right now is Valve Enmity, Burning Light, and Bond of Virtue. Bond of Virtue is going to be on all the time. Some people say toggling on and off, but there is actually no benefit to that. So I just leave it on constantly, just to constantly heal, make sure I keep everybody topped off, especially when I'm running with my tank buddy here. Making sure that he stays alive, but he's pretty beast, so he won't have any issues. If we can get a Q. And if you guys have seen my Guardian Fighter video, my build video, my buddy Bladaga that I'm playing with right now, that is his build. I just showcased it for him because he doesn't like to take credit for things. So I generally just use his build every now and again when I play my Guardian Fighter, but most of the time I play my Healadin when it comes to a tankier character. But you will see him in full swing with that build with a almost 3k or over 3k Guardian Fighter that just really won't die. So it'll be a good experience for both of those parts. And if you have anything you want to add, Mr. Bladaga, feel free.
Oh, just want to say that I got no bonding zone and I got no negation, so thanks for talking me up.
Fantastic. So but it is also Temple of Spider, which is for us a very easy dungeon. So he definitely won't really need either of those. I could probably almost go without a companion and we would still be fine. So yeah, it's a pretty easy dungeon for us, but it's just a good way to test yourselves, especially for new viewers, new players. Once you get to 2K item level that you do EToS.
Yeah.
So once you get to 2,000 item level, then you can do EToS, Epic Temple of Spiders for people that don't know. And then with that, you'll get gear, you'll get seals, which help you buy gear. And a lot of people ask where I get gear, how do I get better gear? You run dungeons. That's how this all works. So here we just load into the dungeon. I just flip my Coin of Tamora just to give a random bonus. So I always start out throwing down Valve Enmity just to mark targets and heal for the DPS, and I try and mark as much as possible. And because I'm running with my tank buddy who has Knight's Valor on, I'm just going to be dropping pally hammers pretty much the whole time unless the group really needs shields. So we kind of rush through this a little bit, just because for us it's a very simple dungeon. But just running through basic rotation. Bond of Virtue never goes away. So you don't even push that button like ever, unless you get stunned and it turns it off. Then you just turn it right back on. And I could use my cleric sigil, but I get a daily like every 6 seconds or something, so I don't necessarily need to pop my sigil all the time. I will pop it on boss fights just to throw down some more DPS if needed. But as you can see, this group is pretty decent, and having my beast of a tank buddy in here makes it a whole lot easier. And as a Healadin, especially with this build, I am power sharing, so everyone around me is gaining just a little over 5,000 power. And then, because I'm a Justice Feat Path, I'm also buffing the group, giving them reduced cooldowns, giving them echoing heals, which do heals over time for constant upkeep. And basically that's it. Everything that we do pretty much heals. So my Vow of Enmity is a heal. It works like the Cleric's Astral Shield. Burning Light heals me, heals everybody else, and obviously Bond of Virtue does that. And I believe the AoE burst from Divine Judgment, it doesn't say it in the tooltip, but I have seen green numbers coming off of that when I drop it at times. So I believe pretty much everything that we do heals. But having Knight's Valor on with my Guardian Fighter buddy is phenomenal. And do you want to skip or sit and fight?
We'll just take the small group out. Normally we'll run across, but especially for the newer viewers, taking care of this group can lead to an easier fight down the edge here.
And don't ever follow the path down, just jump down right here. It's an easy skip, and because the spiders that are up top are stupid, they just are a waste of time. And it just makes it longer because it takes you an extra, I don't know, 30 seconds to run all the way around and down here, where you could just slip off the edge and be on your way. And for some of the hardcore dungeoners, they do what's called a door-to-door pull. So from the very beginning of the dungeon, they run all the way through to this door, and they pull all the mobs with them and fight right here. Just to get all the mobs in one place and have the DPS be able to just stack up and just melt. But with this group, we're pretty casual. We're not going to do any hardcore pulls or anything like that. We just often do that basic skip right there, just jump off the edge and call it good. And this group is actually pretty good DPS wise. We're not having to, I don't feel like I'm doing all the damage or Bladog is doing all the damage. So there have been a couple of times where him and I were the top of the DPS boards as a Healadin and as a Guardian Fighter. So that was a rough dungeon. So this is the last little group of mobs before we come to our first boss in this dungeon, first of 3. And you'll see a little cutscene, which I have seen millions of times, and Bladaga has seen probably 10 million times.
Too many times.
Yeah, way too many times. At least it's short and sweet. This guy has no mechanic really. He has that blade spin that you just kind of saw there. Deals quite a bit of damage, but other than that, not much. I just pop my sigil just to ramp up my AP generation so I can drop more damage. And this is not a purely damage build. This is support. I do have some damaging mechanics, but I am set up mainly as a support, as a healer, as a buffer, off tank if I need to. This dungeon I could probably tank with the right group comp. I don't think I would even necessarily need an AA cleric or anything like that, but just having a decent DPS makeup. I could probably tank this when Bladaga is on his Great Weapon Fighter, just because he deals enough damage for the whole party. That things die pretty quickly, so... And in case you guys were wondering, Bladaga is probably the best 3K Guardian fighter in the game right now. The fact that he can do the things that he does with no bondings, no negation. Do you even have your Plague Fire on?
Negative.
So he literally has no weapon enchantment, no armor enchantment, no bonding stones. And he's running through this and not even taking damage, not even getting close to dying. So that's pretty ridiculous. Now, if we were to do a CN or something a little bit higher, he would definitely need at least his negation. Would you need bondos to run CN for Orcus?
All depends on the group following the fight last.
Gotcha.
Main thing as a tank is if their DPS is weaker, that's the more hits you take. If you get stronger DPS, you take less hits, just based on time. So.
And another fun fact about our wonderful friend Bladaga here, he is also probably one of the hardest hitting, strongest great weapon fighters for his item level that I've seen. Especially for the gear that he has. It's pretty ridiculous. He has definitely carried the team in all regards, in many occasions when it comes to his great weapon fighter.
Thank you. It's a bit much, but yeah. He's alright.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, he's got 2 dedicated characters. I wish that I could say the same. I have 10 level 70s, so I've spread myself a little thin. But he has 2 main dedicated characters, and he's very good with both of them. So this boss fight, there's not a whole lot of mechanics other than the ads coming in. She does have a crazy kind of AoE that can one-shot most DPS if they don't have a good tank, which we do, especially since he's running Knight's Valor. And as you can see, all these burning guidance things popping up on my screen, those are the boon procs that whenever I heal, it does burning damage. I haven't got the one from Storm Kings yet, which will do like up to 6k damage in burning damage when I heal. That's my next goal with this character. So that burning damage, I think I have 2 that are at 2k, so that's 4k ticks a second every time I heal. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up over the course of a dungeon. So it helps out a lot just to push things a little bit faster. And I don't have to do anything different. I can just keep doing my normal build, normal rotation. Don't have to swap anything out. I just do, and it's the boons activating on their own. And because this is a good group, you're not having to see me go try hard. I haven't even activated Sanctuary at all. He aggroed the assassin back here. But basically, the only part where I will probably have to activate my Sanctuary, maybe throw on shields, is coming up in just a little bit. There will be 4 phase spiders that will definitely rock your world if you don't have a good tank and a good devoted healer. Unless we can actually get a good pull, which Bladaga, with his mark, it's the hard taunt, so he can actually just pull the phase spiders off the off the edge of the cliff that we come up to, which we'll explain once we get there. Now in this instance, most of the time your companions will get stuck on that bridge. So if you are a DPS, or if you really need your bondings, when you drop down, why we kind of pause there is to resummon your companions, just to make sure that you have your companion in the fight and actually producing for you. If not, they'll just sit there on the bridge and not do anything for you at all, and you'll be wondering, why am I not healing for as much, or why is my damage lacking so much? It's because your companion's just sitting there on the bridge. So just things to keep in mind with this dungeon. And also, I forgot to mention, we did a little skip right there. Well, we actually did a couple skips. Before that second boss, we skirted kind of through the edge of the rocks to avoid some mobs that don't really matter. And then back here before the bridge, we skirted the outside edge of that cliff to avoid two face spiders that face spiders hit very hard. So they definitely are something that you want to skip. Hey, how's it going, Prawn? This is the other one of the gods of the Great Weapon Fighter world, Mr. Prawn.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
How's it going, John?
nice. Yeah, if that's okay, boss. We're just in the middle of a stream. We're almost done here. I appreciate it. So as you saw there, our tank, Mr. Bladaga, was able to mark and pull some of the ooh, and I just got pushed. That's not good. So you can see that you get pushed off the edge there, like Leah Moonshadow did as well. But Mr. Bladaga was able to mark, and those face spiders jump in behind you and they fall off the edge. So it's just an easy way to get through that part without getting smacked all the time. Because if you try and take on all four of those with a low DPS group, with a low DPS group, and especially when I'm not necessarily paying attention as much as I should and not healing like I should, you can wipe several times just because they do so much burst damage to you.
Also, communication is key in the fact that if you saw the control wizard went up before I could mark anybody, and as such aggroed some spiders before I could try to pull them off the edge. Now, not everybody knows that you can do that, and that's alright, but if you can try to run with a group that you know, or that you at least have in party, you can try to communicate that.
And we're pugging this, just Bladaga and I are in a group, so these guys are, I mean, they're doing good DPS. It's just they're kind of getting a free ride when it comes to healing and the tank at this point. Getting a good devoted a good solid tank, a good solid healer, or a cleric is kind of hard to come by, and so we kind of just gave them 2 elite spots right there. If we, let me see what we got here. We're just getting to Sindrith, and I don't think it'll be, I think it won't be that bad of a fight. But we'll definitely pick you up for the next round. All right, I appreciate it, boss. So the only mechanic to this fight is she jumps around, and it gets really annoying really quick, especially as great weapon fighters go. They she likes to teleport out of the way right when you're about to use your biggest ability, your biggest damaging ability, and it makes you miss, which sucks. So basically she teleports around until she gets down to, I don't know, just under what? I mean, 2/3 health, 3/4 health.
Third bar.
So just past the 3rd bar, he said. He's super quiet, but basically, then she will change into like a giant drider, so like half woman, half spider. And then she basically just stays put. And then the other mechanic comes in, which I'll explain when we get there. So having decent DPS, doing what you can do, having a good tank, having a good healer, and we really only have one good DPS in here right now, considering I'm 2nd on the damage board, and at least when I checked, I had less than 40 million. On the damage board, which is not that much when it comes to true DPS, but for a Healadin that's not full DPS spec'd, that's not terrible. So yeah, being really only having one true DPS in here, this dungeon actually hasn't been awful, but like I was saying before, having a devoted tank and a devoted healer makes it really nice. And I'm also power sharing for just over 5k, so that helps out DPS a lot. And it just gets annoying. This part of the fight lasts a lot longer when you don't have true DPS in here, because it takes a lot longer to get her down to her point where she's going to change and sit still for a little while. But other than that, got everybody joining. I'm on Twitch. So as you can see, she just changed. So basically, you'll see this red guy on the left shoots a beam that damages you, hits you pretty hard. If you're a DPS and you get hit by that, it's pretty much a one-shot. And then this blue or green guy here on the right shoots a healing beam. If you don't block it, it heals the boss. So it just makes it go a lot longer than it needs to. And nothing changes when it comes to boss fights. Just run same basic rotation. If we had good DPS, really good DPS in here, I would switch off Burning Light for Bane just to add extra damage for the DPS. But this DPS, I mean, they could benefit from it a little bit, but they're not that strong that you're gonna see a huge difference if I swapped out. And me being 2nd on the damage board, I'm going to keep my somewhat damaging abilities on, just in case.
podcasting. Doing a video for some viewers for Angli. I think we're gonna do another one here shortly, correct, Angli?
It just depends. I might take a break because my voice is getting a little raspy from talking so much.
I got you.
But I'll at least get this one out there, just so they can see how it all works. So.
Sounds good.
And if you are worried about DPS or pumping up your DPS, even your DPS characters, the other guys that you're playing with, hitting your right bumper gives extra armor pen. So, and it's a buff for the group, so you can pop that out there. I usually, if I'm running with good DPS and I'm running Bane, I'll get my 3 stacks of Bane on the boss, and then I'll hit my right bumper and just let them know, hey, you've got it all, you've got full shred from me, just so that they know that they can go ham on it whenever they're ready. And always try to keep that try to keep your Val active. I always, if I'm going for DPS, like me myself as my Healadin, I will try to, I'll do it right here. So Val, hit my right bumper, and then drop my hammer, just so that it gives me the best chance to deal damage. My average with the hammer, or the Divine Judgment as it's called in the tooltip, is, I don't know, just under 200k, but I've seen crits up over 700. So it hits really hard. But on average, it's right around 170 to 200, 210, something like that. And that's not being full DPS. That's just me running for group support. But my other daily is what's it called? Shields of Faith, I believe. And all it does is increase my healing done to everybody and reduces their damage taken by 30 or 50%. I can't remember off the top of my head. And if I didn't have a good tank that I trusted, I wouldn't do this, but I do. So I'm going to flip my coin in the middle of this boss battle. Which, again, just gives a random stat, but having having a tank that I trust, that I know I'm not going to die if I stop for 3 seconds, yeah, you generally don't do it, but the dog is a good one, so I trust him pretty well.
Thank you, sir.
And she's almost
watching this
done.
video, don't pick up that bad habit. Don't do it.
Yes, don't pick up that bad habit. If you follow me enough, you'll see me pray in the middle of battle. You'll see me flip my coin in the middle of battle. I'll activate invocation, blessings, and that's just because I'm sure of myself. I know what I can do, and I know what Ladaga is doing for me, so I can get away with it. Now, if you feel like you can get away with it, and you can get away with it, that it's proven, I still wouldn't suggest picking up that bad habit, just because it is a bad habit. But I do it just because I can. So as you can see, I ended with 74 million as a Healadin in this fight. I'm normally right around 3rd on the damage board. And then here's my points healed. That's a little low, but that's just because we had Valor from Bladaga. Just under 11 million healing. I average 13 to 15 million generally, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So the boss has a chance to drop gear, purple gear, which is useful starting out, and then you'll get gear from this box here, which you can just choose from whatever it is. You'll also get these seals you can buy gear with. And then obviously these rings can be helpful if you're early on. But that's about it, guys. That's an EToS run. Took a little bit longer just because we didn't have a full complement of DPS. But that's the basic ins and outs of my general build. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, be sure to comment in the video below, and I'll try to answer as best I can. And as usual, like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.